Imagine walking through ancient bazaars surrounded by the snow-capped Hindu Kush, while the sound of distant gunfire reminds you exactly where you are. This isn't just a country, it's a contradiction. You've heard the headlines, but what if the real Afghanistan is nothing like you imagined? This is what it's really like to visit the world's most dangerous country. No filters, no scripts, just raw truth inside Afghanistan. The arrival. Landing in Kabul is not your typical airport experience. The plane dips low over mountains that seem to rise up and swallow you whole. Soldiers patrol the tarmac. You're scanned, patted down, and greeted with a combination of suspicion and hospitality. The first thing you notice is the dust. It's everywhere, hanging in the air, coating cars, settling into your skin. And then there's the silence. It's the kind of silence that feels like it's holding its breath. But behind that tension is life. Real, resilient life. Children kicking a deflated soccer ball down an alleyway. Women wrapped in sky blue burqas moving through markets. Street vendors selling kebabs and chai like nothing's wrong. Because for them, this is normal. You hear the distant echo of a call to prayer and the clang of hammers from a nearby construction site. A boy knocks on your window, trying to sell you gum. A soldier waves you through a checkpoint with a smile that vanishes the moment you pass. As your driver weaves through traffic, past donkey carts, armored vehicles, and a sea of rust-colored buildings, you realize this isn't chaos. It's a rhythm, unpredictable, but somehow in tune with itself. And you're part of it now. Kabul, between ruin and resilience. Kabul is a city of paradoxes. Bombed-out buildings stand beside newly painted mosques. Satellite dishes sprout from crumbling rooftops. The people? Cautious, yet curious. Locals stare but rarely speak until they know you're not a threat. And when they open up, their warmth is overwhelming. One man named Farid, a shopkeeper in the old city, invited me for tea. Over steaming cups, he told me about life under the Taliban, life under the Americans, and life now. Afghanistan, he said, is like a wounded lion, majestic, proud, but hurting. He pointed to the cracked walls of his shop. That hole? Rocket from 1995? I just painted over it. Security here is fragile. Checkpoints are everywhere. Armed guards, even at restaurants. But strangely, after a few days, the tension fades. You start to see the people, not the guns. The dreams, not just the danger. You hear laughter from a schoolyard behind concrete barriers. You watch a boy ride a bicycle with no seat but the widest grin. You see murals on walls, color bursting from gray, and smell fresh bread from tiny bakeries in alleyways. An old man waters flowers in tin cans on his windowsill, as if coaxing beauty out of rubble. You realize Kabul isn't a war zone. It's a city trying desperately to live. Bamiyan, echoes of the past. Next stop, Bamiyan. If Kabul is the heart of modern struggle, Bamiyan is the soul of ancient memory. This is where the Taliban blew up the towering Buddha statues in 2001, icons that had stood for 1,500 years. Now, only their outlines remain, giant empty silhouettes carved into sandstone cliffs, haunting in their absence. But Bamiyan is breathtaking, rolling green valleys, crystal clear lakes, and peace. Yes, actual peace. The Hazara people who live here are welcoming and soft-spoken, their towns quiet and clean. I stayed with a family in a mud brick home. We ate lentils, rice, and fresh yogurt by lantern light. No Wi-Fi, no headlines, just conversation and the hum of crickets outside. The children here speak multiple languages, Dari, Pashto, even a little English. Their eyes shine with intelligence and hope. One day, a young girl told me, I want to be a doctor, maybe in America. And when I asked her why, she smiled shyly and said, because I want to help people and maybe see snow that doesn't melt in a day. It's hard to believe this place exists in the same country as Kabul. The road to Kandahar. Kandahar is Taliban territory. Most embassies won't even mention it. Travel advisories scream, do not go. So, of course, I went. The journey south is one of the most dangerous road trips on Earth. Convoys are targeted. Kidnappings are real. The further you go, the more you're advised to keep a low profile. Disguised in local dress, riding in a beat-up Toyota with a fixer named Javed, I watched the terrain change. mountains turning into dusty plains, cities into villages, freedom into caution. Kandahar is quiet in a different way, not peaceful, but held in check by power. The Taliban presence is heavy, even if you don't always see them. Morality police patrol the streets. Music is banned. Women are ghosts, completely absent from public life. Yet again, the people defy expectations. A teenage boy asked to take a selfie. A shop owner whispered, "I want my daughters to go to school." In a land ruled by fear, these tiny moments feel like rebellion. Javed told me stories of Taliban fighters who now run markets, collect taxes, and enforce their own brand of order. They believe they are building a better society, he said, but we are the ones paying the price. We stopped for fuel once, and a man looked directly at me and muttered, "This is not the Islam we know." Even in silence, dissent simmers beneath the surface. The hospitality you can't believe. Here's the part no one talks about. Afghans are some of the most hospitable people in the world. It's not just culture, it's survival. In a land where allies are scarce, guests are sacred. I was invited to more meals than I could possibly accept. I was offered beds, rides, and protection by complete strangers. In one village near Herat, I was taken to a wedding. There were no women, of course, but there was laughter, dancing, and the kind of joy that doesn't make sense in a war zone. A boy played a traditional drum while elders sang ancient songs. One man turned to me and said, "We dance because we are still alive." In another town, a man stopped me in the street. He didn't speak English, but he placed his hand on his heart and gestured toward his home. We shared bread and silence, and it was enough. Later that night, he brought out an old photo album. Dusty, fading images of a time when Afghanistan looked free. Girls in school uniforms, men in flared jeans, bustling cafes. "Before the war," he said, almost in a whisper. Then he pointed to a young girl in one of the photos. "My sister," he said. She wanted to be a writer. His eyes were glassy, the weight of memory heavy in the room. These small gestures, the cup of tea, the shared meal, the warm glance, are Afghanistan's quiet rebellion against fear. And in those moments you realize, generosity here is not just kindness. It is resistance. It is identity. It is hope kept alive. The real risk. Is it dangerous? Absolutely. Foreigners are still targets. The political situation is fragile. There are bombings, ambushes, and extremist factions. You're watched. You're warned. You're never really safe. But here's the twist. Danger is only part of the story. The greater tragedy would be to only see Afghanistan through headlines. This is a land of poets, scholars, warriors, and artists. A land where every mountain has a legend, every ruin has a history, and every person has a story. One university student I met in Kabul showed me his sketchbook, portraits of women, landscapes of villages, scenes of peace he had never seen in real life. "I draw the world I wish existed," he said. Another showed me a handwritten poem, folded like a secret. "If bullets don't kill us, silence will." Visiting Afghanistan is not about thrill-seeking. It's about witnessing complexity, courage, and contradiction. It's about seeing what survives when everything else falls away. Leaving changed. When I finally left, I felt two things: relief and heartbreak. Relief to return to safety. Heartbreak to leave behind the faces, the stories, the spirit of a place the world has abandoned. Afghanistan is a place that lingers, not in the way trauma does, but in the way beauty sometimes hurts. You don't forget the kindness of a chai vendor who insists you take your tea for free. You don't forget the child who offered you his only piece of bread. You don't forget the soldier who nodded at you from behind a machine gun and said, "You're brave," or crazy, maybe both. You also don't forget the sunsets, burnt orange and violet over jagged mountains, or the call to prayer echoing through the valley at dawn. You don't forget how human resilience can shine brightest where the world expects only darkness. You leave knowing that Afghanistan is more than war. It's more than poverty. It's more than the headlines that flash across news screens. It's human, flawed, fragile, yet fiercely alive. So, what is it really like to visit the world's most dangerous country? It's terrifying. It's humbling. It's beautiful beyond words.
And if you ever go, you'll never be the same.
If this journey moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories from the edges of the world.